Alice is a lot of people. Alice is your neighbor, your brother, your sister that is just living paycheck to paycheck. Usually, your Alice people, if they encounter an emergency that's over $300 to $500, they are struggling. They're at risk for either eviction, they're at risk for having their power shut off, just trying to make ends meet from paycheck to paycheck.
And how is Alice vulnerable in this crisis?
So the crisis is affect. So the crisis has affected our Alice population greatly. You've taken out their main source of income. So if they're not working, they can't pay their bills, they can't put food on the table, they can't do a lot of things, and they're stuck at home. Um, Luckily, the power companies are not shutting off the power, the water companies aren't shutting off the water, and they're not being evicted. So that's saving our Alice population. But what they're concerned about is when everything gets back to normal or semi-normal, whatever you can call normal nowadays. So what am I going to do if I've got a bill that's electric bill that's $500, $600, $700 or more? What happens? I've been behind on my rent for 2 months. How do I pay 2 months? How do I make up that difference in 2 months? What is out there to help me get things, get myself back to normal, get myself back to work? What do I do with the kids now that kids are out of school? How do I keep going to work when the kids are at home? Those are the problems that are facing a lot of our clients, especially our single moms that are raising children by themselves. Luckily, they had school to help them out, but now their kids are working straight out of the house. So that's a lot of their concerns that they're facing right now.
And th- we're going into summer now. But prior, they had school to help with more or less basically where the kids go. But a lot of families did summer camps, and those aren't happening this summer.
Right. That's a big problem for our kids and our families. What do we do with our kids? How do we go back to work? How much work am I going to get? We're in this weird phase of I'm going to be able to work just a little bit. Maybe I'll get half of a paycheck, or I'll be able to get 15 hours of work in rather than 40. Those are the things that they're going to be concerned about. And do I still have power in my house? Do I have enough money to put food on the table? All sorts of those thoughts are going through our families' heads.
So, what basic needs do these families have right now that the community can? What basic needs are you seeing that they're struggling with?
Right now, people are just concerned with what's going to happen. Right now, no power's being shut off. They're not being evicted out of their home. Luckily, some people who had food stamps are getting the maximum amount, so they're going to be able to keep food on the table. But then you've got those people that have applied for unemployment and they haven't gotten it, or they never had food stamps, or they didn't know how to apply, so they're not getting food. So any kind of income that they have had has gone towards food. So the needs that we are seeing that is making a big impact is donating to your local food pantries. Our food pantry here has just gotten an amazing support from our community, and we've been able to help so many people, just as a lot of our food pantries throughout our community have been able to help all our residents here in Osceola County.
What can the community do? Yeah, I know you partially answered this, but what can the community do to help those that right now honestly can't help themselves? And these aren't people who are lazy or who are not wanting to work.
No.
These are people who circumstances have basically given them a bad hand.
Right.
What can the community do to help these people?
Well, I think supporting your local nonprofits make a big impact. Um, we have been we've been blessed to have local support from our utility companies. They have their own local funding, so we can help their customers that are facing disconnections. Even our local sheriff office has pitched in, and they're delivering Meals on Wheels. So it's amazing to see the sheriff come here every day and pick up his route and go deliver meals Meals on Wheels to our community residents. So things like that are fantastic. I would tell the general public, if you can donate monetarily to your nonprofits, do so. It makes a big impact. It makes it better, easier on us to provide assistance to those who are in need. And just being aware of what's out there and knowing where are the available avenues for accessing help, whether it's seeing a doctor or whether it's getting help with your rent or your utilities, anything like that.
What is the Council on Aging's current greatest need?
That's a good question. I think our greatest need right now is going to be rental assistance, and has always historically been, even during non-pandemic times, helping people with their rent and their mortgage. Your ILS population, if their car breaks down or they get a flat tire, they're out, $200-300, and that makes a huge impact if you're living paycheck to paycheck, or if they get sick and they lose a week or two worth of work. That's a major impact. So if you get behind on your rent, it's just this ongoing cycle of I'm constantly behind, constantly trying to catch up. So rental assistance has always been our biggest need, and I always go blank.
Oh, good.
Drone.
That gives me a second. Let me adjust my arm. This thing is heavy.
It's like planks.
Yeah.
Like doing planking.
That's all right. That means.
You want to set it on that?
It's not going to work
All
because
right.
basically I just needed to adjust my arm some.
I'll try not to be winded along with it.
It's all good. But basically, rental assistance is a major issue. Same with utility, because if someone has to choose between putting basically eating or their utility bill, it's Hobson's choice.
It's difficult to make a decision on what bill do you pay if you just don't have the funds. You got kids at home right now. It's like summertime. The kids are home, so they're eating constantly. I'm telling my clients all the time, budget. Not just budget your money, but budget your pantry, your food pantry. Make sure that the kids aren't eating you out of house and home all day long. Try and put them on a schedule, and know what's out there. So whether it's on Facebook or whether it's on a website, Heart of Florida United Way has an amazing website with a bunch of resources that are out there. Your local county website or your city's website has an amazing array of resources that are available for you. Check that out. And keep on Facebook with your local nonprofits. Our Facebook site, we're constantly putting information on our Facebook about what's available and how you can apply for assistance.
I don't think anything else anything that we didn't touch on.
Maybe something about our community. I think our community has been amazing during this time. Everybody's pitching out, everybody's supporting local business. People are donating to their local food pantries, which has been fantastic. All our nonprofit organizations are communicating together. We're on a weekly call, at least once or twice a week, telling us what's available, how can we help each other, how can we share resources, how can we help each other meet the need that's out there. So our community has just been really doing an amazing job, from local businesses to individual residents to our nonprofits and city and county officials. It's just been doing an amazing job.
How do we keep this going past the current crisis? Because there will be a backside to this, and I know people. I know people in my business industry have COVID fatigue already, and it's not going to go away.
Right.
So how do we keep this going where we keep this energy going? This energy's going between everyone.
Right.
And we can wait till.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I just off the top of my head, it was just basically.
Yeah.
I've always found that during times of crisis, a lot of things come together, but then keeping that togetherness going is always the toughie.
Well, I think families have really grown closer during this pandemic. People have shown a lot of support. The community is showing a lot of support. Our community in particular is amazing during a crisis. We all pitch in. Afterward, it's always a challenge to pick up the pieces and get back to normal daily life. But this pandemic has shown us a little bit more. We've gotten a little bit more connected with ourselves, more connected with what the true needs are in our community, and our true needs of what truly means a lot to each other, what is truly important. And it's our families and our community. So I think we'll do fine after all this is over.
In case that's the last bite, I'm going to
All right.
quickly, and just in case, I'm just going to let it just simply look for a second, just in case. I always leave 10 seconds
Sure, of just
nothing-
standing
of
still.
standing still, so that you don't, so that the control room doesn't go too black. But for our senior families, I mean, Council on Aging is primarily geared towards seniors, but they do you do.
Actually, we're a nonprofit. We're a senior service agency, but we're also a community action agency. So we serve just as many, if not more, families than we do seniors.
How do you see going forward? Where do you see your clients 6 months or 9 months or 10 months from now? Can we even look that far ahead?
Well, I'd like to see our seniors get back here on site and sharing with each other. Social isolation is a tough one for our seniors, so it's really important that our seniors get to see people and engage rather than just staying at home and watching TV all day. I really like to see them engage and get back to our parties. We love to party and and share. It's a fantastic, and a lot of seniors like to volunteer. So a big portion of our volunteer force are seniors. They're out there that are, and I can't wait for them to get back on the road again.
And with the current conditions, they can't volunteer.
No. On a very limited basis can they volunteer. Yeah.
Cool. Anything that
If you want to get a shot of our food pantry, you can take
Sure.
a look and see. That might be a nice little
sure.
extra thing other than my big head.